In this video, we're looking at AI content that connects. Recently, Google released Nano Banana Pro. This is a next level AI image generator. This is a milestone because of its ability to produce quality text on infographics, on video thumbnails, and a range of other use cases. What I'm going to do is save you having to watch dozens of hours of YouTube videos and spend a bunch of time stress testing it and just cut you to the front of the line and show you practically how to use this for your advantage in content marketing efforts, specifically within the format of infographics. In our work at Another AI, we've served our clients in the AI-enabled content marketing space for a long time. Formats that we spin off are image posts, video shorts, long-form video podcasts, articles, and short video clips, carousels as well. Carousels were a pretty big game changer about a year ago, but now infographics are definitely here. Before, it was hit or miss. You can use tools like Get Napkin. There's a few others that were just like not exactly there. Google's ChatGPT's new image model was pretty good, but it was almost always hit or miss with the text in there. A lot of the serious professionals who work with aren't comfortable putting out blurry AI hallucinated text on infographics. It's just not a good look. Now you can easily put out solid infographics that would have taken a lot of time and money to do previously. Now we're going to be able to knock it out in like 5 minutes, maybe 10. All right, so let's just dive into this thing. First thing we're going to look at is our ChatGPT window. If you're anything like me, you've been talking with ChatGPT for a while. And there's a decent amount of context within its memory if you're using projects. I love projects. We've used them for clients for the last year. Definitely advise creating knowledge bases, front loading them in there. That's awesome. For this, I didn't even use a project, though the more context and fine tuning, the better the results you get. This is just a quick way to get it done. Straight up kindergarten level prompt. What are the top infographics we should make about our business? Finally, cognizing the fact that Nano Banana Pro is legit after watching all of the hype guys on YouTube talk about it for a while. It basically gives us a bunch of ideas. This is what you could expect to get back. All right, let's get into this one. And then I created this other approach for like layers of it. I like this approach of increasing levels of detail, but you're going to just want to say, give me this infographic in a way that's optimized for nano bananas. So I have this 3-layer prompt. We're going to do some interesting stuff where the infographic is flanked by images. The easiest way to get this done is to come into Gemini. Most of the people I work with have a G Suite, so you can just access it immediately. I did find out that you're limited to the 1K model. For the non-nerds out there, that means you have 1K, 2K, 4K Nano Banana Pro models that you can select from. So for example, this is the image that we just got from the 1K model. I'm going to show you inside of 11 Labs. We can access it, and I'm going to throw it in the 2K version. Let's see what we get. That's not really the main attraction. This is what we'll take a look at next. This is a more minimalist version. And then we'll take the full infographic and I'll show you guys how to use one of my all-time favorite tools, Gamma. Once you're in Gamma, go down to Studio, hit Social, round to one card, hit Just Vibes, and then drop in your prompt, generate outline, and it's just going to give you this. That's fine. Select the format of your choice. I have an image prompt that I like to use, and then make sure if you're on Ultra, you can choose all the way up to the 4K model, which is ideal, but you can probably get good results out of 2K, and we'll verify that in a moment. All right. It'll take a minute to do its thing. Gamma does take some time, so we're just going to hang here for a minute and wait for this thing to load, and then we'll see what kind of details we get back. All right, so here's what we got of the original level image on the 2K model. Pretty sweet. I like that. Let's see what happens. This is that mid-level complexity. Let's see what happens if we throw that in at the 2K level. This should be almost done. Here we go. Nice. I like that glass blur effect. One piece of content, 30 assets. What's handled by us versus you? You record once, us editing, repurposing, scheduling, automation. Wow. Sounds legit. Shorts, carousels, blog posts, email drops, quote graphics, and now infographic. Not bad. That's pretty legit. I think we would want to add infographics in there though. Just for the last post, a full infographic, I think we need to add infographics, and blog posts are just like so obvious. I just, not that one. I guess we can do that. Yeah, take out email drafts. Yeah, let's take out the email drafts node as well. Blog posts, shorts, infographics, carousels, image posts. And let's add in custom image posts. Pretty legit. Okay, let's get it back. So I'm showing you a little bit under the hood. This is the way to get it done. Prompting is on a ceramics wheel. You have to spin it a lot. You got to work with it a lot. When you're actually doing something for real, it takes a couple iterations to get it right. All right. You know what? Let's just for fun. Okay, here. That's cool. Email drafts, casual. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, let's go to 4K here and just burn through mad credits. Let's see, 9 by 16. And we're doing it twice. Let's just do it once. Okay, and let's see what this can do. I like these. So maybe you can see how those 3 tiers really come in. You can imagine so much of customer experience and branded experiences as a whole is levels of awareness. That's not something that just happens over a macro standpoint where it's like traffic channels and top of funnel, mid funnel, nurture, conversion, sales. It happens all the time at micro levels too. Any idea, even if it's an idea that people have seen before, we bring them into it, right? It's a boiling frog, just 1 degree at a time. So whenever we're trying to spark up thoughts, we try to ease into that space and you serenade them, right? If this is sales enablement material, one of the things we do is we'll sit down and have a long form conversation. That one long form conversation actually allows us to create a whole bunch of derivative works. And we'll take that as a core data asset, and then we'll spin off a whole bunch of other stuff from that. And the way that works is actually this, and then we'll get into it at a deeper level. So we've got this here. I'll just do it on Gamma 2. We would expect it's the exact same thing. Run this one more time, and then we'll wrap this thing up. This is the manual approach. The automated approach is a lot better. Together with my colleague in the automation space, we've been working on a robust automation that does this and everything else I've discussed for. So literally our clients will show up for one conversation that's been scoped out prior. We do some research, we do some kind of thinking before we get into the call, so we don't have a cold start. We show up, have a great conversation, authentic, natural, lightweight facilitation, showcasing the expertise, experience, and perspective of the individual we're talking with. We'll use that as a long form podcast for them. It's white labeled in that sense. And then that will be the trigger piece that creates a month's worth of carousels, image posts, infographics, and short videos. Other stuff is really easy to spin off of it, like emails, blogs. That's been the core infrastructure. We'll come back to them with a crisp review interface and say, here's the deck of cards. Imagine every asset, every piece of media is a card in a giant stack. They get to the stack and they basically swipe through left or right, which ones are approved, which ones are rejected. And if they want a revision, they hold down, talk to it, and they'll swipe off the screen. If that UX pattern sounds familiar, it's because we've identified that from another sector. If you can guess, I'll give you a free strategy session. It's in the relationship space. So that's how it goes. Okay, so here's what's interesting. So we've got what? Okay, so we've got a cool looking infographic, but I don't know why are we getting these artifacts? I love this subtle terrain. That is so cool, man. The misty Blue Ridge Mountain, concrete brutalism, minimalist Japandi aesthetic, warm interior juxtaposition with a cool exterior, subtle chroma glitches, and liquid glass. That's 100% my image style for the VentureMap brand. So love that ox blood red, and it's the subtle terrain, topographical features, like that is on. But why is that spooky stuff happening down here? It makes me wonder if there's something. Huh. Okay, so we've learned a lot. We've learned that sometimes we're still going to get some weird, that control over it. You basically have no control. So in order to redo it, we just have to redo this and hope that there's no weird artifacts. We've also learned that Gamma is so legit. You can force it to create an infographic through these means. You can see I've done a few others like this. Looks awesome. Really love this one. Love the subtle, blurry, glitchy piece that just touches my heart. Now that we're second guessing whether or not this thing can do what we need, let's just come in here and be a little more thorough. It's funny. Shameless plug for VentureMap Elite's new pricing tier, $30 a month. But let's just speed this thing up a bit more because now we're second guessing it live on the line. It makes you wonder, right? Is that Gamma? Is that Gamma's weirdness, that Gamma's prompting it wrong? Is that Nano Banana? I don't think it is Nano Banana. All right, let's handle. See, look at this text. So nice. From a design standpoint, personally, I really like this design. What this has that we didn't have in 11 Labs was the style prompt. Boom, this guy right here. So I guess what is a little bit of a black box is this. So we don't know how to get, like, why did it come at us with these artifacts? Gamma must have done some prompt injection at some weird point behind the scenes. Okay, now we know. This is the first time actually Gamma's let me down on this side, but I'll tell you what, I bet you if we reran it, we would have a different outcome. At least I would expect that we would. Let's see. All right, just because we hit that issue, and I love Gamma. We can't leave them hanging. And for fairness' sake, I'm bringing in that style prompt here. This is a real showdown. And you know what? For fairness' sake, let's do this. Most people will have this. Most people will just go straight to Gemini. Of course, you can go to Google AI Studio. You got to hook up a paid API. And if you already have one of these other tools, and there's a bunch of others you can access it on too, yeah, you can do that easily. All right. Almost done. Okay. Curious. All right. Very curious. So my sense is that 11 Labs isn't putting any subversive prompt injection in, right? And now we don't have any weird, let's see. Altogether, I think it's solid. I love that one we had before, though. It's a little bit hit or miss. If I was doing this where the stakes are really high, you could take this image, feed it back and say, I love the look of this, make the prompt even more specific. But this is pretty solid, especially for only running it for a few minutes. Here we go. We got that cool low grade terrain. I mean, personally, I like this. I like it when it breaks the fourth wall just because I'm a framework guy. It's cool. Looks legit, man. So curious, what are your thoughts? What are you going to use Nano Banana Pro for? Do you want us to make infographics for you? How about carousels, shorts, image posts? We have a media machine. Try to make it as accessible as possible for all of you fine people out there. I've been conducting benchmarking efforts to see what others are doing in the space. I'm a big workforce disintermediation guy. If we can get the job done without having to hire expensive agencies, freelancers, consultants, etc., we should. That's the COO in me. If you guys want some backup, I have a special running right now that we probably won't have it there forever. If anybody who gets in as of the time of this recording, I probably will take this down at the end of the week. In fact, I'm going to just commit to that if you can get in before the end of the week, I'm going to honor this pricing for basically $300 a month. I'll interview you once a month. I'll set up and host your full automation, including all the APIs, including all the credits required. You'll also get personalized feedback from me directly in the community, as well as a free Go High Level sub account, which is $100 a month value included just to run the full automation profile by itself. You're looking at anywhere between 40 and $60 a month. There's some nuance to that statement. We're still working to figure out a real dialed in cost estimate. This is the beast that generates. We already have Nano Banana plugged in, the new Pro model, of course. Image posts, carousels, video shorts, and then infographics are going to be the next branch we'll add in. And then that's the brains. This is the production pipeline. We'll drop the card and it just gens out content. We'll give you a custom front end to swipe through all of this and evaluate. And then when it's ready, boom, it goes out into GHL, deploys through your accounts, and you just keep focusing on execution. Thanks for watching. Let me know, what are you most excited about for this use case for infographics? What infographic has been in your head for a long time that you just haven't been able to articulate, haven't been able to realize? A post in the community on what infographic you want to see. I'll do a couple of these for the community and just punch them out here. Make sure you keep that prompt as detailed as possible, and I'll get you guys a solid infographic. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.